I guess I should repeat that. I will never have a channel goal that would involve me being disruptive. You're gonna have to wait for future push-ups, though. I gotta have a little bit of time to let my shoulders rest. Otherwise, they're gonna hurt. Let's see. And I don't really want to hurt myself here. I just gotta remember in a little while. Probably while I'm doing Animal Crossing. Let's see, if you tried clementines for your blood pressure. The thing is, like, it's not that my blood pressure is actually particularly high. It's more of a... Some days I get really bad migraines, and by raising my blood pressure, I more or less make them considerably worse. Clementines don't really help with that. And so yesterday, when I went to bed, it was a 50-50 toss-up on whether or not I'd have a migraine by the end of the day. And the answer is, didn't get one, which is quite nice. Let's see. So yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is... Let's have 9. Do I want a merger or do I want a splitter? Okay, let's undo that a little bit. I think I'd still probably have a lot of the production still be here. I'll just move it around. Let's see, what would you do if someone redeemed Ring Fit? Like, stop playing immediately or wait until the next game? No. So, the way... Okay, let's back up. So, I was talking about not wanting to disrupt... Whoops, that's not where I meant to do that. I don't want to disrupt my stream, ever. So, if I've got a schedule that I have to keep, then that's going to be how it goes. Regardless of whatever the plans are. So sometimes people will redeem Ring Fit and I'll just be like, no. You know, I can't. I have something I need to do. I have something I need to record. I'm busy. I'm not feeling well. The excuses are many and the reasons are usually justified. That said, usually what happens when somebody requests, say, Ring Fit, is I say, okay, that'll be at the end of the night. And tonight specifically, woof, that's fast. Tonight, for example, would be a game where, a day where I would actually straight up veto it and just be like, I can't. Even if it would be fun, I more or less got up for a bit, took a shower, ate lunch, and then went back to bed today. And that's not an indication for, like, hey, I am capable of doing more than I already am. Let's see. So is this just, like, souped out? Yeah, wow, it is. Okay. I think I'm gonna take these 4 at the very least, and we're gonna pipe them back. Oops, that's not. But no, that might sound callous. It's just kind of a matter of, like, you know, this is a show that I'm trying to put on so people can enjoy. Even if, like, I am mostly aiming for maximum chill, what I can get it. But, like, no, dropping everything in the middle of, like, one game to play Ring Fit would be super not good. How many of you guys... I can only assume most of you guys would probably get a little grumpy if I suddenly was like, well, somebody bought Ring Fit, never mind, bye. How do I want to do this one? I organized this in a very specific way that might not actually be super viable anymore. Because, yeah, not everybody is here for X thing. Especially, the other suggestion was having me yell things. Like, this is... I will yell when it is appropriate, and only then. And even then, rarely. Okay, that's a splitter, yeah? Cool. I will yell when I'm genuinely shocked or surprised or whatever, not because somebody was like, I'm going to pay you 50,000 imaginary points to do so. Because that would be not great. I was just wondering, it seems strange having an actual game as a redeemable. Mainly it's, I need to get fitter sooner than later. I'm trying to lose weight. I mean, everybody should be trying to get healthy. Lose weight, gain weight, really does depend. And it's one of those where, in my experience, having people like redeem Ring Fit or push-ups or whatever pushes me to do exercises when I normally wouldn't. I mean, like right now, if I said all of you do as many push-ups as you can reasonably do for, you know, maybe the next, like, 2 minutes or something like that. Like, how many... I mean, obviously a lot of people would probably just say no. But that would be a bunch of fitness that most people might not even get in a single day. I think I could do 7 push-ups. And that'd be fine. I mean, obviously, if you've got health complications, which I believe you do, then I wouldn't force the issue. But I'm assuming most people might spend this entire stream sitting on their butt, watching, you know, probably playing a video game on the side or something like that. And so having that little bit of light exercise on my end, that I have no control over, like, when I do it, apart from, I guess, saying no, here and there. Like, that's exercise that, yeah, I wouldn't normally have gotten during this time period. And so I have noticed that I actually have bulked up in my pectoral region and my arms and whatnot. I'm gonna go get my yoga mat and do some stretches while I watch. That is a good plan. And, like, obviously this sort of thing will not work for everybody, nor would I demand as such. But if you can manage it, it's probably worth doing so. Because, honestly, we were not made to be this sedentary. We never... We, as animals, were meant for long-distance travel, interestingly enough. And so... that our modern society has kind of moved us into a situation where almost all of us are just sitting around on our butts. It's not good. It's not good for us all. But I understand why, like, a lot of people, you know, can't or won't. I don't actually know if that's faster. Oh, we should get the little cart up here. Wander saying pectoral is hilarious. I mean, what? Pecs? My moobs have gotten buff. Both of those are technically true. I have firm moobs now. I don't think I'll ever be able to fully get rid of those, but still. Next 6 YouTube videos will be world covering. A little bit. I'm trying to do it in a productive fashion, so I'm not just constantly covering it. So I'm going to extend the iron lines over to heavily expand our steel production. There we go. Oh, right. We looped all of it up in here. And we're out of concrete. I'll have to expand production. Okay, there is no second floor. Which is amusing. A new goal. Do 1 push-up for every one that Wander does. I mean, if you can manage that, cool. And if not, it's also okay. Not everybody is built for push-ups. Let's do logistics, conveyor stack pole. Probably instead of 7. Okay, so we've got 4 iron lines. No. Do we have 4? Yeah. We'll have 4 iron lines. Uh-oh. I guess most importantly, we should start with 1. And then we'll expand from there. Mainly because I actually do not have enough, I do not have enough steel on these belts to move these lines. I have a roughly similar build to what you appear to have back when you unboxed your Astroneer goodies when you were moving out. Yeah. I think that was actually me at about my heaviest. But obviously that's no real metric for anything. Because I think that was right in the middle of me not getting a whole lot of sleep, being stressed out about the move, and just being grumpy. I'm still mad at that apartment complex. I should have left a bad review at the time. Probably still should. For context, we lived in an apartment in Kansas. And it was an okay apartment, but the big issue with it for us was when we were it was, I guess, a little over a year and a half ago, a little under a year and a half ago. We specifically had, just woken up, and everything smelled funky. It was confusing. I was like, why does our whole apartment smell like chemicals? Do we have to worry about this? And the answer is yes. They were spraying something downstairs with no ventilation. The only ventilation was to turn on the air in the apartment below, which pumped all of the fumes up into our apartment instead. And effectively gassing us out of our own apartments, except for we couldn't go anywhere because, it was... I mean, I guess we could have gone to a hotel, but we didn't have anybody else in the area to, stay with. We technically had Shell's great aunt, but she lives in a 2-bedroom house. So I guess we could have slept on the floor. Ugh. But, it was so bad that I just had an instant migraine the moment I, properly woke up. And so we marched down there being like, what the hell? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? And they're like, we're spraying for the next people to come in. And the answer, it was just, the most clueless, you idiots, our apartment is now uninhabitable. What are you going to do about it? And the answer is, well, we have 1 box fan, so we're going to put it in the apartment downstairs because OSHA safety. It was something stupid. They wanted to clear it out faster, but it meant that they were still pumping just dumb amounts of paint fumes and whatnot into our apartment instead of anything else. Could have killed you in your sleep. Maybe. I doubt... That's the sort of thing that... Yeah, I don't know about that one. But it was very much a, what are you doing? What idiot thought this is a good idea? And so, in the end, yes, they opened up the whole apartment so not only did our apartment smell like paint fumes, but the whole building smelled like paint fumes. For less time, I guess, which I guess is a blessing. I'm just going to set these at regular intervals instead of... Let's see, is that every 4? Yeah. 2, 3, 4. Is that 4? Yeah, that's 4. 2, 3, 4. But yeah, big no-no, and we more or less were just like, you know, you gonna put us up for a hotel? Nope, we don't have a budget for that. You gonna buy some box fans? No. You know, it'll be gone by tomorrow, so it's not a big deal. And it was the most corporate response I've had. Oh, well, no, I guess there were a couple other, like, pseudo-corporate responses out of this place. Because there's also a industrial facility on the other side of the tree line from where we lived. And it was making this horrible wee, like, just something about their HVAC system had broken. And was just outputting massive amounts of noise. And so we were like, this is kind of uninhabitable. Can you, like, fix it? And they're like, no, it's not in our budget. And it's like... the hell budgets? I don't know. I lost a lot of faith in how things are done by the end of living there. Okay, 2 more. Because it was just kind of like, bottom line is way more important than your life or, you know, general enjoyment of your living situation. Hey! What's up, Josh? How's it going? Gotta jump into a meeting. Catch you later. Well, have fun. Yeah, they could have informed the tenants of what was going on in advance. Yeah, but they didn't. They didn't care. They didn't want to put the effort in, and so more or less, we were just like, all right, screw it. We're already on a month-to-month lease because we didn't want to be there anymore, and maybe that's part of the reason why their response was so tepid, because they knew they weren't going to keep us for much longer. But it was just like, screw this place, we're out of here. And then I hopped on a plane to Portland, hung out with Stumped for a little while, picked out a bad house that had black mold in it, and then we moved into that house for a day. We were like, oh, black mold. Yeah, never mind. I should have had a underline instead of going with the vertical conveyor belt, or the, whatever, it's fine. This kind of looks nicer anyway. But now we've got a landlord that, well, 2 landlords? It's effectively just an old couple, and they're quite nice. As I hear from a lot of people renting from, like, bigger companies, especially in, like, these times, it hasn't been very pleasant. We have a couple of friends who specifically rent from, like, large apartment complex companies, and they've been sending out regular threats saying, you know, if you don't pay your rent, it could mean, like, jail time and some other stuff. And, you know, they haven't threatened to not pay rent yet. They haven't not paid rent yet, but they're just getting regular threats in the mail already, and it's just like, whoo, I'd want to get out of there as soon as possible. And I get it. Things are spooky. Oh, that's cool. I can actually have this at a right angle. I don't think I need to. Or care to. Maybe I need to. It's not perfect. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a smooth curve out of this one. Okay. There's no real vertical splitter in this, is there? Alright, whatever. Let's see. So we're just going to take this, line it up as best as possible. Probably like that. Extend that one there. Oh, wait, hold up. Oh. Oh. Well, I guess there's one way to do it, though. Let's just, sure, screw it. Why not? That's the way to do a vertical split, if I ever saw one. It feels somehow wrong. Is this? Oh, that's a conveyor lift Mark II. They're not. Oh, I do have the Mark IIIs. I should go double check. I bet a lot of these are the previous. Yep, that'll speed things up. Okay, so some of these were already Mark IIIs, just not all of them. Okay, that speeds that up considerably. Let's see. A friend of mine's apartment complex forgot to BCC their tenants in a mass email claiming anyone who didn't pay their rent during the state government mandated rent suspension would be evicted immediately after. Everyone renting from the company has one on strike. Oh, has gone on strike. All it took was knowing who else was getting treated like shit and they stood together. That's good. It feels weird to be in a time talking about like going on mass rent strikes and stuff like that, but at the same time it's kind of like I know some friends that straight up like will not be able to pay rent in about 2 months when their savings dry up, and you know, usually that's kind of the recommended level limit before you're not supposed to have well, you know, you're only supposed to have so much in savings. After a certain point, it's financially unsound to keep all that sitting around ish. Yeah. Just according to any financial planning I ever heard. Put it away for like 2 to 6 months, give or take. I am sorry that this specific game just always comes with a healthy dose of reality and so on and so forth. I've heard 6 months of rent. Okay. I've heard a number. It's hard for me specifically to know because I don't pay attention. I've got way more in savings than most people probably do, just because like losing my job and getting into YouTube more or less put me in a position of like, oh, yeah, if I wanna actually like survive another major career change like what I went through, I need to have a lot more like squirreled away, so I've just been squirreling away ever since. Do you want to just do elevators or one problem is I don't have the best iron receptacle here. lot of it has to do with the spaghetti coal lines, to be entirely honest. Why are we expected to have months of savings, but companies don't get bailouts? I mean, socialism for the wealthy. That's how it's always worked, at least in the U.S. It's infuriating. Let's delete that for a second. I believe the alternate motto is like rules for thee but not for me or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of like pseudo fake slogans that are really I don't know. They hit home whenever I hear them. I'm just like, Jesus. That is weird and hypocritical and I don't like it. Because yeah, if everybody had like a massive rainy day slush funds, I think we'd be in a much healthier position. But I keep reading about, like, the airline industry, let's see. You want to go to the edge or bring it in a bit? Let's bring it in just a bit. I keep reading about the airline industry effectively not having any money left over because of, I think it was stock buybacks? Where they just spent every last dime that they had squirreled away recently on just, I guess, securing their own financial position in, like, the regular economy without actually thinking about, like, hey, what about dire consequences? And they're like, that never happens. Oops. For freaking cruise ships. I think cruise ships are the ones that make me the maddest. I don't know how tuned in you guys are watching this. Cruise ships piss me off a little bit because effectively the cruise ship industry isn't even based out of the US, but they're asking for handouts because they specifically. The cruise industry based out of, like, smaller tax haven style companies, or countries, so they wouldn't have to pay as much when it came to, you know, U.S. taxes and whatnot, which turns out has catastrophic consequences if everybody stops taking cruises for, you know, a year. As far as I know, there's not a single cruise line based in the U.S., which is, I mean, that honestly feels mildly wrong. I guess I would understand it if, like, you know, were the countries of the destination countries having the cruise lines. You know, so like, okay, sure, let's have a cruise line based out of the Caribbean that, you know, sends all of its money to the Caribbean and is partnered with a bunch of Caribbean hotels and employees and whatever. And like, okay, I could work with that, but most of them don't even employ like a single person from the country that they're based out of. And why would any airline CEO save money when they can be sure that every government will bail them out no matter what? Yeah. I feel like if we ever have to bail out a company, the string attached should be, like, it's not a bailout, it's a buyout. So, like, say if company needs X number of $1 billion to, like, stay afloat, and it's deemed somewhat essential for, you know, public good, then you just say, okay, well, you are now that proportion owned by the public, and, you know, you now have to have X number of people on your board that aren't just, like, CEOs and whatnot. I bet they'd change their tunes pretty quick if bailouts came with, like, heavy strings attached. Because I don't think they currently do. And that's really weird to me. Because I know right now, if I were to, like, get, let's say, $100,000 loan to get a house, and I defaulted on that, the house that I bought with that money would, I mean, I get some of the money back, but the bank would more or less just take it back from me. Don't like it. Is this all from one? Holy shit. Okay. We need to drastically increase our iron output, don't we? The one nice thing about all of this, though, is, like, it really does feel like, save for a couple of specific mouth breathers, most people are at least relatively in tune. Maybe that's not the exact wording that I would want to use here, but, like, it's rare that I find myself being like, oh, I jammed these too close together, so I can't actually get the power pulled between them. Well, it's fine. But like when I went down to Disney, I was talking to a bunch of like old college friends and stuff, and it was very refreshing to know that a bunch of my friends were just as mad as I am about a lot of things, and I don't know, it's validating. Every once in a while I get like a comment from somebody on one of these videos. I think you can even go like find them. I don't generally delete them unless it gets particularly insulting, I guess. But if it's just discourse, well, no. I definitely was calling one guy a dunce, because he was saying that whatever the death toll was, it wasn't worth crashing the economy over, and I'm like, oh, you're evil. I don't call people evil lightly. At least I didn't used to. I've been calling a lot more people evil lately. I kind of stand by it. Okay. We should probably update most of these belts, because they are outdated. Okay. Yeah, holy cow, Wander. How long have you been playing? I'd say this is about 15 hours of work, give or take. Oh, that one never got hooked up. Ah. That'll fix some things. Really, I don't think these are hooked up in the slightest, but now we've actually got the steel supply to upgrade most of our belts to absolute maximum. Okay, there we go. Tonight I've only been playing an hour and a half, though. Okay, so we have a lot more iron coming out of this than I thought, which is good and bad.